Chosen ones, your heart was not changed by chance. God has been working behind the scenes, molding and shaping you for something far greater than you can imagine. Every tear, every challenge, and every moment of joy has been part of a divine plan to transform your heart into a vessel of His love and purpose. You have been set apart because your journey is unique, and your heart needed to undergo this change to fulfill the mission God has placed upon you. At times, you may have wondered why your heart felt heavy, why you experienced such deep emotions that others seemed not to understand. But this transformation is not about making you ordinary. It's about preparing you to carry out an extraordinary purpose, a purpose that requires a heart that can love deeply, see beyond the surface, and stand strong in the face of adversity. God doesn't transform hearts lightly. He has seen the battles you've fought, the ones no one else could see. And through it all, He has been crafting your heart to reflect His will. Your heart had to be softened and strengthened simultaneously. It had to break so that it could grow stronger, not for your sake alone, but for the sake of those you are meant to impact. As you move forward, you will begin to see that this change was necessary. You may not know exactly where this journey will take you, but your heart has been prepared for what lies ahead. This transformation marks the beginning of something powerful, a divine mission that only you can fulfill because only your heart has been crafted in this way. Remember, the path of the chosen one is often filled with mysteries and revelations, but your transformed heart will guide you toward your divine purpose. Have you ever wondered why your heart feels different now? It's as if something deep inside has shifted, opening you up in ways you never expected. This transformation is no accident. When God touches the heart of a chosen one, it is not a subtle change. It's a profound renewal that reshapes your entire being. You may have endured pain, challenges, and moments of uncertainty, but all of it was part of a divine plan designed to prepare you for what's ahead. God often begins His work in the heart. It's there, in the quiet spaces of your soul, that He plants the seeds of transformation. The journey to this point hasn't been easy, but every hardship served a purpose. Your heart had to be broken in order to grow. It had to be stretched to make room for greater compassion, deeper love, and a stronger connection to the divine. This is how God prepares His chosen ones, through the trials that shape a heart capable of carrying out His will. When you look back on your life, you can probably see moments where things didn't make sense. Perhaps you've asked, why me? Why this? But now, as your heart grows into its new form, you may start to understand that every experience was necessary. The struggles you faced were refining you, much like gold is refined in fire. What you once saw as setbacks or pain were actually the very things that molded your heart into what it is today, a vessel for God's purpose. This transformation has given you a new perspective. Where others see only difficulty, you now see opportunity. Where others are weighed down by their struggles, you feel empowered by your resilience. Your heart, touched by God's hand, is now more attuned to the needs of others. You can sense when someone is hurting, and you are drawn to offer comfort. You see injustice, and you feel compelled to act. These are signs that your heart has been changed in a way that aligns with a higher purpose. But this is only the beginning. Your heart's transformation is not just about you. It's about what God has planned for you to do. The people around you may not understand this change. They might sense that something is different about you, but they won't always grasp the depth of what's happening. That's because your heart is now operating on a divine frequency, one that connects you to a higher calling. Yeshua too understood this transformation of the heart. In Matthew 5:8 he says, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God." This purity of heart that Yeshua speaks of is not a superficial goodness. It's a deep, transformative purity that comes from being reshaped by divine hands. Like Yeshua, your heart is being refined so that you can see beyond the surface of life, recognizing the deeper truths and divine presence in everyday moments. Your transformed heart is now a beacon of light to those around you. Even if they don't understand it, they will be drawn to the compassion, strength, and peace that radiate from within you. This change wasn't just for your benefit, it was for the people whose lives you are meant to touch. As you move forward, you will find that the more you embrace this transformation, the more clearly you will see your path unfold. But don't expect everything to be revealed at once. The heart's transformation is ongoing, and so is your journey. With each step you take, more will be shown to you. God's plan for you is unfolding, and while the full picture may not yet be clear, your heart has been prepared for what's coming next. It's often said that true transformation begins with brokenness. For many chosen ones, this journey of heart transformation begins at the point where everything seems to fall apart. You've probably experienced moments when the weight of life felt unbearable, where it seemed like your heart could no longer withstand the pain. Yet, it's in these moments of brokenness that God begins His greatest work. When your heart was broken, it wasn't the end of your story, it was the beginning of your rebuilding. God allows the heart to break, not as a form of punishment, but as a means of clearing out what no longer serves His purpose in your life. The pain you've endured was never without reason. It served as a tool to strip away the unnecessary, to create space for something far greater. In the same way that a cracked seed must break open before it can grow into a towering tree, your heart needed to break to be fully transformed. In your brokenness, you probably felt vulnerable and lost, unsure of why things were happening as they were. But looking back, can you see how those moments were preparing you? How they were necessary to open your heart to new possibilities, to deeper love, and to a stronger connection with God's will. This breaking was part of the process, a process that would allow you to emerge not only stronger, but also more aligned with the divine mission that lies ahead. What you might not have realized at the time was that God was making room in your heart for something far more beautiful. He wasn't content to let you remain as you were because He knew the potential that was buried deep within. Your heart, though once broken, was always meant to be restored, and not just to its original state, but to something even greater. In John 16:33, Yeshua tells us, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." This message resonates deeply with the chosen ones whose hearts have been broken. Yeshua's words remind us that the challenges we face are not meant to defeat us. Rather, they are opportunities for God's power to work through us, rebuilding our hearts stronger and more resilient than before. Like Yeshua, you too are overcoming the world, but only after allowing your heart to be reshaped by the divine. The breaking of your heart was never intended to destroy you. Instead, it was meant to break open the shell that had been keeping you from fully stepping into your calling. Through the cracks, God's light has entered, and in that light you can now see clearly the path that is being laid before you. Your heart, once weighed down by fear, pain, and doubt, is now free to embrace its divine purpose. But this journey isn't over. As your heart continues to heal and grow, you will find that the process of transformation is ongoing. Each day, as you walk more deeply in alignment with God's will, your heart will continue to evolve. The breaking was only the beginning, a necessary step to prepare you for the greatness that awaits. You may still have unanswered questions, but trust that every piece of your heart's journey has been carefully orchestrated. Your heart had to break so it could expand, so it could hold the love, wisdom, and strength needed to fulfill your mission. Now, as you continue on this path, you will discover the true power of a heart that has been touched by God, a heart that was rebuilt for something far beyond what you ever imagined. Compassion is one of the most powerful forces that flows from a transformed heart. When God touches the heart of a chosen one, it softens in ways that allow you to connect with the world on a deeper, more profound level. This newfound compassion is not a weakness. It is a gift, one that enables you to see others as they truly are and to love them in ways that most people cannot. As a chosen one, you are likely more sensitive to the struggles and pain of others. You can feel their emotions, their heartache, and their challenges in ways that go beyond mere observation. This deep empathy is a reflection of the divine love that has been placed in your heart. But this gift of compassion can also be heavy, as it may feel like you carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. However, remember that this compassion is not meant to burden you. Instead, it is meant to empower you to act in ways that bring healing and hope to others. You were given this gift because God saw in you the ability to handle it, to transform it into a force for good. Compassion opens the door to true connection with others, allowing you to serve as a vessel of God's love in a world that desperately needs it. Compassion does not mean simply feeling sorry for someone. It's about being moved to act, to reach out in love and kindness, and to help those who are suffering. This is the kind of compassion that changes lives, the kind that reflects the heart of God. It's why, as a chosen one, you find yourself drawn to help those who are in need, to comfort those who are hurting, and to stand with those who feel alone. Yeshua demonstrated this kind of compassion throughout his life. In Matthew 9:36 it is written, "When he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them, because they were harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd." Yeshua's compassion led him to action, and he became a beacon of hope for those who were lost. As a chosen one, your heart mirrors this same divine compassion, moving you to act in ways that bring light and love to those around you. But this power of compassion doesn't only change the lives of others, it changes you. Every time you extend kindness or offer support, your heart grows stronger and more aligned with God's purpose. You may not always see the impact immediately, but know that every act of compassion plants a seed. Some of those seeds will grow into mighty trees and others may remain unseen, but all of them are part of the larger tapestry of your divine mission. Yet, this path is not without its challenges. There will be times when your compassion is met with indifference or even rejection. People may not always appreciate the love you offer or understand the depth of your empathy, but that does not diminish the value of your compassion. Remember that you are acting in alignment with God's will, and He sees every effort you make, even when others do not. Your heart, transformed by God, is now capable of loving in ways that are beyond the ordinary. This compassion is one of the most powerful tools you possess as a chosen one. It will guide you, strengthen you, and connect you to the people you are meant to touch. But even as you give of yourself, your journey of transformation continues. There is still so much more to learn and experience as your heart grows into the fullness of its divine purpose. Pain is something most people try to avoid, but for chosen ones, pain serves a deeper purpose. It's hard to see the beauty in suffering when you are in the midst of it, but as a chosen one, your pain is not wasted. God has allowed certain hardships in your life, not to break you, but to refine you, to bring you closer to the purpose He has set for you. In this process, your pain becomes the catalyst for your transformation. The moments that have hurt the most often carry the most profound lessons. When you reflect on your journey, you may notice how each painful experience led you to a new level of understanding or growth. Whether it was betrayal, loss, or heartache, each moment was used to strip away the unnecessary and reveal the core of who you are. It's through these experiences that your true purpose begins to emerge. Pain, when surrendered to God, becomes the foundation upon which He builds your destiny. It's as though the very thing that was meant to harm you becomes the tool that shapes you. Your resilience, your compassion, your strength, all of these have been developed through the hardships you've endured. This is not by chance. God has been working behind the scenes, using every tear, every trial, and every setback to prepare you for the mission ahead. In the book of Romans, Paul writes, "We also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope." Romans 5:3-4. This scripture echoes the journey of every chosen one. Your pain has produced perseverance, which has in turn shaped your character, and from that character, hope arises. It's a cycle that many cannot understand unless they too have walked the path of a chosen one. But as you know, pain is not the final destination. It is merely a bridge that leads you closer to your divine purpose. Each trial is like a stepping stone, bringing you closer to the clarity of what you are meant to do. With every heartbreak, with every disappointment, you are being positioned for something greater. It's as if God is chiseling away at your life, removing the unnecessary, so that what remains is the pure essence of your calling. Your pain also equips you to connect with others on a deeper level. Because you've walked through darkness, you are able to shine light into the lives of those who are still searching for hope. Your wounds have given you a unique perspective, one that allows you to offer comfort and understanding in ways that others cannot. This is why your pain matters. It has shaped you into a vessel of God's grace, someone who can bring healing to a broken world. While your journey has been difficult, you are now standing at the threshold of something powerful. The purpose that has been hidden within your pain is beginning to unfold. You may not have all the answers yet, but know that every experience has been necessary to prepare you for what lies ahead. Your pain has been the fire that has refined your soul, and now you are ready to step into the fullness of your calling. There will still be challenges along the way, but as you continue on this path, remember that each trial has a purpose. Your story is far from over, and the very things that caused you the most pain will become the foundation of your strength. Trust that God has a plan, and that through your pain, you are being positioned for greatness. There comes a time in the journey of a chosen one when everything seems to shift. You may have started on one path, confident in your direction, only to find that life has taken an unexpected turn. In these moments, it's easy to feel lost or confused, but rest assured, God's hand is at work, gently redirecting you toward a greater purpose. His love is like a compass, constantly guiding you even when you can't see the destination clearly. The path you thought you were on may have been necessary for a season, but as God transforms your heart, your direction changes as well. What once fulfilled you no longer does, and what once seemed important now pales in comparison to the deeper calling you feel inside. This is all part of God's plan. His love for you is so great that He won't allow you to stay where you are when He has something more for you. He knows the desires of your heart, but He also knows what's best for you, and sometimes that means redirecting your steps. As a chosen one, you've likely experienced moments where doors seem to close without warning. Perhaps relationships ended, opportunities slipped away, or life didn't unfold the way you imagined. While these moments can be painful, they are often God's way of steering you in the right direction. His love is not only protective, but it is also purposeful. He knows the plans He has for you, and when those plans require a new path, He will lovingly guide you toward it, even if it feels like a detour. One of the most beautiful aspects of God's love is that it always seeks your highest good. In Proverbs 16:9 it says, "In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps." This verse reminds us that while we may have our own plans, it is God who ultimately directs our steps. His love is intertwined with His guidance, and though the path may seem uncertain to you, it is perfectly clear to Him. He sees the end from the beginning, and He knows exactly what you need to fulfill the purpose He has placed on your life. This redirection is not about taking away your dreams or desires. It's about aligning them with His divine will. Sometimes the path you thought was right was only preparing you for the one God had planned all along. The relationships that ended, the opportunities that passed you by, these were not losses, but divine redirections. God's love has a way of removing what no longer serves you, even if you don't realize it at the time. With a heart that has been transformed by God, you are now more sensitive to His leading. You may find yourself drawn to new opportunities, new people, or even a new purpose that wasn't part of your original plan. This is the beauty of a life surrendered to God's love. It is ever evolving, always moving toward the ultimate calling He has for you. However, this redirection often requires faith. You may not understand why certain things are happening, but trust that God's love is working on your behalf. He is aligning everything perfectly, even when it feels like things are falling apart. The path may be winding, but it is leading you exactly where you need to be. As you continue on this journey, remain open to the changes God is making in your life. His love will never lead you astray. Every redirection is a step toward the fulfillment of your purpose. You may not see the full picture yet, but rest assured, God's love is guiding you every step of the way, preparing you for something far greater than you could ever imagine. In a world that often values loud displays of power, the quiet strength of a chosen one's heart can seem out of place. Yet, it is precisely this quiet strength that sets you apart and gives you the resilience to walk the path God has laid before you. The heart of a chosen one doesn't need to shout to be powerful. Its strength lies in its ability to endure, to love deeply, and to remain steadfast in faith even when the world seems to be crumbling. This kind of strength is not something that can be learned overnight. It is developed through the trials and challenges you have faced. Each obstacle you've overcome has added another layer of strength to your heart, allowing you to face future challenges with a sense of peace and confidence that comes from knowing you are being guided by something greater. The quiet strength of a chosen one is not flashy or attention-seeking, but it is deeply rooted in the knowledge that God is with you no matter what comes your way. You've likely experienced moments where people didn't understand your calm in the midst of chaos. While others may react with fear or frustration, your heart remains grounded, knowing that God's hand is at work, even in the most difficult circumstances. This quiet strength comes from a deep trust in God's plan, a trust that has been built through your personal relationship with Him. It is this trust that allows you to walk through storms without being shaken, knowing that the same God who transformed your heart will also see you through whatever comes next. In the story of Yeshua, we see this kind of quiet strength on full display. Despite facing immense pressure, betrayal, and ultimately the cross, Yeshua did not lash out or retaliate. Instead, he carried himself with a quiet strength that flowed from his trust in the Father's plan. In Matthew 26:53, Yeshua says, "Do you think I cannot call on my Father, and he will at once put at my disposal more than 12 legions of angels?" Yet, he chose to remain calm, trusting in the greater purpose that was unfolding. This same strength resides in you as a chosen one. The quiet strength you carry also serves as a beacon to others. People may not always understand it, but they are often drawn to it. There's something comforting about a heart that remains steady in the midst of uncertainty, a heart that doesn't need to prove itself to the world because it is already confident in its purpose. This kind of strength isn't about controlling circumstances, but about maintaining peace within, regardless of what's happening around you. However, this quiet strength doesn't mean that you never feel fear or doubt. You are human after all, and there will be times when you question the path ahead. But even in those moments of uncertainty, your heart knows where to find its strength. It is in those quiet moments of prayer, reflection, and connection with God that you are reminded of His presence and His purpose for your life. Each time you return to Him, your heart is strengthened, renewed, and ready to face whatever comes next. Your strength is not measured by how much noise you make or how many people recognize your power. It is measured by your ability to keep going, to keep trusting, and to keep loving, even when it feels difficult. This quiet strength is a gift, one that has been cultivated by God Himself, and it is what will sustain you through the most challenging seasons of life. As you continue on your journey, lean into this quiet strength. It is your anchor, your foundation, and it is what will carry you through to the fulfillment of your divine purpose. You don't need to prove your strength to anyone. It is already evident in the way you live, love, and trust in the one who called you. As a chosen one, you may have noticed that your heart speaks to you in ways that go beyond logic and reason. There's a deep sense of knowing, an inner voice that quietly guides you toward certain choices and away from others. This is not mere coincidence. It is the divine guidance that God has placed within your heart, allowing you to navigate life with a kind of intuition that is connected directly to His will for you. Heartfelt intuition is one of the most powerful gifts you've been given, and it often works in ways that defy explanation. You may find yourself inexplicably drawn to certain people, opportunities, or places, even when it doesn't make sense on the surface. This is God's way of leading you, of placing you exactly where you need to be for the next step in your divine mission. Sometimes, the guidance of the heart may seem quiet, almost like a whisper, but those who listen closely to that whisper will find themselves walking in alignment with God's greater plan. Your intuition isn't just a feeling, it's a direct connection to God's wisdom. He speaks to you through your heart, guiding you in ways that the mind can't always understand. In Proverbs 3:5-6 it says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." This scripture reminds you that divine guidance doesn't always align with human logic. It requires trust, faith, and the willingness to follow where your heart leads, even when the path ahead seems unclear. This divine intuition often comes in the form of peace or discomfort. When you are making decisions that are in alignment with God's will, you will feel a sense of peace in your heart, even if the circumstances seem challenging. On the other hand, when something isn't right for you, there's a sense of unease or resistance that you can't ignore. This is God's way of communicating with you, urging you to pause, reflect, and seek His guidance before moving forward. But it's not always easy to follow this intuition. The world often tells you to rely on logic, facts, and external evidence, but as a chosen one, you know that true wisdom comes from within. It takes courage to trust your heart, especially when others may not understand the decisions you make. Yet, every time you follow your heart's guidance, you strengthen your connection with God and His plan for your life. There will be times when your intuition leads you in unexpected directions. You may feel called to leave behind certain relationships, careers, or environments that no longer serve your growth. While these changes may be difficult, they are necessary for you to stay aligned with God's purpose. Trust that when your heart speaks, it is leading you towards something far greater than you can imagine. Yeshua Himself exemplified this kind of divine guidance through intuition. In John 16:13, He promises, "But when He, the Spirit of truth, comes, He will guide you into all the truth." Just as Yeshua followed the will of the Father, allowing the Spirit to guide His every step, you too are being led by divine wisdom. Your heart's intuition is the Spirit's voice, guiding you to truth, to purpose, and to the fulfillment of your mission as a chosen one. However, it's important to nurture this gift. Spend time in quiet reflection, prayer, and stillness so that you can hear the subtle whispers of your heart more clearly. The more you tune into this divine guidance, the stronger your intuition becomes. Over time, you will find that your heart knows the way long before your mind catches up. As you continue your journey, embrace this divine intuition. It is one of the most profound gifts God has given you as a chosen one, and it will never lead you astray. Trust the voice within, for it is the voice of the divine guiding you toward your highest purpose. As a chosen one, you have likely felt the call to bring healing to those around you. Your heart, transformed by divine hands, now carries the ability to uplift, restore, and heal the brokenness of the world. This is not a task you chose for yourself. It is a mission that God placed on your heart the moment He began to shape it for His purpose. The world is full of wounds of the soul, of the spirit, and of the heart, and you have been positioned to be a vessel of healing in the lives of those you encounter. Your heart is no longer confined by the limitations of this world. It beats with divine love, and that love is a healing force. Whether through your words, actions, or simply your presence, the light that radiates from within you touches those who need it most. You may not always realize the impact you have, but every encounter, every act of kindness, every moment of compassion is part of the healing work that God is doing through you. Healing is not always about grand gestures. Often, it is the small, seemingly insignificant moments that have the greatest impact. A smile, a listening ear, a word of encouragement. These are all ways that your transformed heart brings healing into the world. People are drawn to you because they sense the divine presence in your spirit, even if they cannot name it. There is something about the way you carry yourself, the peace that surrounds you that makes others feel safe and seen. But this healing is not something that flows from your own strength. It is God working through you. In 2 Corinthians 1:4, Paul writes, "He comforts us in all our troubles so that we can comfort others." Your own journey of healing through pain, trials, and heartache has equipped you to be a source of comfort for others. Because you have walked through the valley, you now have the strength and understanding to help others find their way out. Your heart, having been healed by God, is now a beacon of hope for those who are still searching for their own healing. However, healing the world does not mean taking on the weight of everyone's problems. It's important to recognize that you are a vessel of healing, but the true healer is God. You are simply the channel through which His love flows. As you reach out to help others, remember to keep your own connection to God strong. Spend time in prayer and reflection, allowing Him to pour back into you so that you can continue to pour out to others. There will be times when the weight of the world feels heavy, when the brokenness around you seems overwhelming. In those moments, remember that you are not alone in this mission. God is with you, guiding you and providing the strength you need to continue. Your heart, though transformed, is still human. It's okay to rest, to recharge, and to seek healing for yourself when you need it. After all, even the strongest vessels need to be refilled. Yeshua understood the balance between giving and receiving, healing and being restored. Throughout his ministry, he healed countless people, but he also took time to retreat and be renewed by the Father. In Luke 5:16 it says, "But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed." This is a reminder that even as you heal others, you must take time to care for your own heart, to allow God to renew and restore you so that you can continue your mission with strength and clarity. Your role as a chosen one is not just to survive the challenges of life, but to thrive in your purpose, bringing healing and hope to a world that is in desperate need of both. Your transformed heart is a gift, and as you continue to share it with others, you will find that the healing you offer returns to you tenfold. The world is in need of the light you carry. Continue to walk in your purpose, knowing that every step you take brings healing to those around you, and that your heart, shaped by God, is a powerful instrument of His love. As a chosen one, your heart is set apart. This isn't just a phrase, it is a reality that you live every day. You've likely felt it, this sense that you don't quite fit in with the world around you, that your path is different, and that your heart operates on a frequency that others can't always understand. This is because your heart was never meant to blend in with the crowd. It was crafted by God for a higher calling, a purpose that is distinct and divinely ordained. Being set apart can feel isolating at times. You might have noticed that certain relationships no longer resonate with you, or that the things that once brought you joy no longer satisfy your soul. This is all part of God's plan. He is refining your heart and removing anything that distracts you from the mission He has placed before you. This process, though difficult, is necessary for you to fully step into the calling that only you can fulfill. Your heart, transformed by divine love, is being prepared for something much greater than the world's approval. You are being positioned to carry out a higher purpose, one that transcends the ordinary and touches the realm of the divine. You may not yet see the full picture, but rest assured, God's hand is guiding every step you take. Your heart, set apart by Him, is uniquely equipped to carry out His will. There's a reason why your journey has been different. It's because you were never meant to follow the same path as everyone else. In John 15:19, Yeshua says, "If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world." This verse is a reminder that your heart was chosen by God, set apart from the world, because you have been called to something greater. This higher calling often means walking a path of faith, one that requires trust in God's plan even when the way forward isn't clear. It means being willing to let go of what no longer serves you, even if it's painful. It means embracing the solitude that sometimes comes with being set apart, knowing that God is your constant companion and guide. But being set apart isn't just about what you leave behind, it's about what you are stepping into. Your heart has been prepared for a mission that only you can accomplish. Whether it's through your work, your relationships, or your spiritual journey, there is something that God has placed on your heart that will impact the world in ways you may not yet fully understand. Every experience you've had, every trial you've overcome, has been part of your preparation for this higher calling. People around you may not always understand this. They may question your choices, your path, or the changes they see in you. But remember, they don't need to understand. Your heart was set apart for a purpose that transcends human understanding. It's not about seeking validation from the world, but about staying aligned with God's will for your life. You've been chosen for a specific reason, and that reason is becoming clearer with every step you take. This higher calling is not something to fear, but something to embrace. Yes, the path may be narrow, and at times it may feel lonely. But the rewards of walking in alignment with God's plan are far greater than anything the world could offer. Your heart, set apart by divine hands, is on a mission that is both powerful and necessary. And as you continue to trust in this calling, you will find that every piece of your journey has been divinely orchestrated for this moment. You were chosen, and your heart was set apart for a reason. Embrace that calling, for it is the key to fulfilling the divine purpose that God has placed within you. Now you stand at the threshold of something extraordinary. Your heart, shaped by God, refined through trials and transformed by divine love, is ready to step fully into the mission you've been called to fulfill. This is not just about personal growth or inner peace. It's about embracing the purpose that God has specifically crafted for you. Your heart's journey has brought you to this moment, and now it's time to fully embrace the divine mission set before you. The path ahead may still seem unclear, but trust that God's timing is perfect. He has been preparing you all along, through every challenge and triumph. Each moment of transformation was a step closer to this purpose. You may have felt at times that you weren't ready, or that the task was too big, but understand this: God doesn't call the equipped, He equips the called. And you have been called, chosen, and set apart for this divine mission. Embracing your mission means fully stepping into your role as a chosen one. It means allowing your heart to be the vessel through which God's love, wisdom, and grace flow into the world. This mission isn't about personal glory or recognition. It's about fulfilling God's will and bringing light to a world that desperately needs it. You are part of something far bigger than yourself, and your heart has been shaped to carry out this sacred work. Throughout this journey, you've learned that God works through the heart in ways that are often unseen but deeply felt. As you continue to walk this path, you will find that your heart's connection to God grows even stronger. You will begin to see more clearly the ways in which your transformed heart touches the lives of others. People will be drawn to the light that radiates from within you, not because of who you are, but because of who God is in you. In Matthew 5:14, Yeshua said, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden." This is the essence of your mission as a chosen one. You are meant to shine, to be a beacon of hope and love in a world that often feels dark and uncertain. Your transformed heart is the light that God has placed within you, and now it's time to let that light shine brightly for all to see. However, embracing your heart's divine mission doesn't mean that the journey will be without challenges. There will still be obstacles, moments of doubt, and times when the path feels difficult. But remember, every challenge is another opportunity for growth, for strengthening your heart even further. Each step you take in faith brings you closer to the fulfillment of your mission, and every trial you face is another layer of preparation for what's to come. As you walk this path, know that you are never alone. God is with you every step of the way, guiding your heart, directing your actions, and providing the strength you need to fulfill your mission. Trust in His plan even when the way forward seems unclear. He has brought you this far, and He will not abandon you now. This is your heart's divine mission. It is the reason you were chosen, the purpose behind every transformation, and the fulfillment of the calling that God placed on your life long ago. Embrace it fully, with faith and courage, knowing that your heart has been perfectly shaped for this moment. The world needs the light you carry, and your heart's mission is to bring that light to the people and places that need it most. As you continue on this journey, let your heart lead the way. It has been transformed by God's love, prepared through trials, and now it is ready to step into the fullness of its divine purpose. Chosen ones, if you enjoy our videos and would like to support our channel, feel free to buy us a coffee. The link will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, and have a blessed day.